All right, so looking at sequences of transformations, so they tell us to use the line x equals -3. So I'm going to go ahead and reflect across the line x equals -3. So here's my a prime, b prime, c prime. That's my middle figure. And then I need to go from here to here. So I want one more transformation. I can do it in multiples, but A is going to go to R, C to T, and B to S. So the transformation that I need is a translation. So I'm going to look at my A and go to R, my A prime. I'm going to move it to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right 4, down 5. So my sequence, I did two things. I reflected across the line x equals -3, and then I translated right 4, down 5. So I have specified the sequence. So something to notice when you're writing out your sequences, you always need to have a verb. My verb will be reflect, translate, rotate, dilate. I need to have a direction, and I need to have a quantifier, which is just like a numerical value. So the direction is going across, and then my quantifier is my line x equals -3, because that's the specific value that I'm using. And then for translating is my verb, going right, and then 4, direction quantifier, and down 5, direction quantifier. If you don't want to use the words, you still need to include translated, but I could use x plus 4, comma, y minus 5. I'm okay with this as long as you include the verb translated, because here is my direction and quantifier. All right, looking at my second example, I want to use the line x equals -2. So that is here. So I'm going to reflect first. So B is 1 away, so B prime will be 1 away. C is 1 away, so C prime will be 1 away. A is 3 away, so A prime will be 3 away. And then to move from here to here, I'm going to take A and map it up to R. So I need to go to the right 2, and then down 5. So my sequence of transformations will be to reflect across x equals -2, and then translate right 2 and down 5. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next page. Look at 5 and 6. So here we're looking at a rotation. So I'm starting at A, B, C, D, and I want to end up at P, Q, R, S, but I need to include my middle image, A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime. So I'm going to start here, and they tell me what point to use. So I'm going to use this point. So I'm going to rotate around that point. So 1, 0 is where B is. So there's a couple ways that I can rotate, but I want A to map to R. So I would recommend going in a counterclockwise direction, or we can go clockwise 270. This is the quickest way to get there. But if I rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise about the point 1, 0. So here's where I wish I had my tracing paper or something that was light, but I don't. But I'm going to rotate around this point. So I need a 90-degree angle. So if I look from A to B, I can see how far that is. And then I'm going to go that same direction 90 degrees this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4 away, 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So here will be my A prime. This is not going to work so well for me. No, it will. I can just move it from here to here. Okay. Then for my, let me come back to D. So for my C to B, I need a 90-degree angle going in a clockwise direction. So it's going to end up being, or sorry, in counterclockwise direction here. This is 2 away. So I want 2 away. So here will be my C prime. My B and my B prime will be the same. So then I can kind of count out where my D is going to need to be. So here is my D prime. So here is my rotated rectangle. And then I need to shift it to the right and down. So to match up A to R. Sorry, A is going to P. Okay, I totally messed this one up. A needs to go to P. My B goes to Q. My C. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Maybe this one will work better. All right, so I want to, all right, let me pause my recording. All right, so have some parchment paper here so I can draw on it and then see what happens as I rotate it. So here's D, A, C, and B. And I wish it would write a little bit darker. All right, so my A needs to match up to my P. My B needs to go to my Q. So essentially, I want it to look like this. So my A is going to match up with my P and then my B with my Q. All right, so from my point of reflection, or my center of rotation, I'm going to look at 1, -4. So this point is where I'm rotating it around. So I'm going to play around. If I go 90 degrees counterclockwise, that will get me down here. And then my A is on the wrong side. I need my A to match up here. If I go 90 degrees clockwise, my A is on the top, which is where I need it. My B is below that. And then my C is at the R and my D is at the S. So with rotations, you want to determine which direction we should go based on where we want it to end up. So I have to use the 1-4. So I'm going to rotate and I'm going to go 90 degrees clockwise. So I'm going to rotate 90 degrees clockwise about the point 1, -4. When we get in class on Monday, you will have paper, tracing paper, patty paper, so that you can write on it and then see through it. All right, so here is my second image. So let me just draw this out here. Here's my A prime, D prime, B prime, C prime. And then I need to just transfer this over. It only needs to go left. And A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll move it over. And B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll move it over. So I need to go left 5. So my second transformation will be a translation to go left 5 units. All right, let's look at 7. See how we do with this one. So I have the same create image, A prime B or A, B, C, D, and I want to use the point 3, -4 for my center of rotation. So again, I want my A to match up with my P. So my A needs to end up to be the top left. So if I go clockwise again, A will be on top left, and then B, and then C, and then D. So we're a little bit, dear, let me make sure I got this on right. So, yep. So I'm going to go 90 degrees clockwise. It is off my graph, which is all right. Let's see, this is up 2 for my A prime. This is down 2 for my P prime. And then I have D prime, C prime here. All right, then I need to move it left. Left and down to get there. So this is going to be, I think it is 2 away in this direction as well. So we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So left 7, and then down 1, 1, 2. I will translate, rotate 90 degrees clockwise about the point 3, -4, and then translate left 7 down 2. So these, in my opinion, are the hardest because you got to figure out what angle of rotation to match up the letters is going to be helpful. But having the patty paper will be helpful too. Today's assignment will be on Delta Math, so it won't be as tedious to do them by hand. All right, so here we have ABCD is my pre-image. We want to end up at PQRS. I'm going to hit A prime, B prime, C prime in the middle. And they tell me that I want to use a line X equals 2 and then a different point. So I'm going to, looks like I'm going to reflect and rotate. I'm going to reflect first. So my line X equals 2. We'll put my C prime and D prime here. And it is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A prime and P are matched up, and then B prime here. That is a cute little trapezoid. And then my A needs to go to P. My B needs to go to Q, C to R, and then D to S. So I'm going to draw in my reflected image here. And I want to use the 0.51. So here is my 0.51. So if I rotate this, there's 90, there's 180, and then it gets me there. Right? So we reflected across the line X equals 2, and then rotated 180 degrees. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise, it's going to be the same. About the 0.51. All right, looking at my next one, I want to reflect across the line X equals 2 again. So my C prime and my D prime, 2, 3. My A prime. My B prime now matches up with my Q prime because it's been moved over. And then when I rotate around that same 0.5 negative, oh, sorry, that was 5 1 before, now 5 -1. So here is my, ooh, I put my C prime a little bit too high there. All right, I'm going to rotate apart the 0.5 -1. So going in a clockwise direction, there's 90 and then 180, and it matches up. And just to check, my A here should match up with my P here. So we reflect across X equals 2, and then rotate 180 degrees. I'll say clockwise about the 0.51. Okay, and then looking at the last page, so here they're telling us they want us to use a point and then a line. So I'm going to rotate first and then use my line of reflection to match it up. So I'm actually going to unreflect my final image, which is that PQRS. And then I'm going to match my original ABCD to match up to where I want it to be reflected from. So if I have my X equals 2, so then this needs to be the P prime S here, R, and then Q. Nope, from here. All right, so now this ABCD needs to rotate to this, so then I can reflect it over. So A, my B, my C, my D. And I want to use the point 1, -1 as my rotation. Well, this did not work out so well for me.
It says one. It says -1, 1.
Ah, it does say -1, 1, not 1, -1. So -1, 1, which works out so much better for me. Okay. Thank you. So if I rotate this, I can go clockwise or counterclockwise. I like to go clockwise. And then it matches up. So it was a 180 rotation. So if I rotate to here, then I can reflect this to here. So we rotate 180 degrees clockwise, about the right point, -1, 1, and then reflect across x equals 2. So what we're doing is just multiple transformations of one figure to match them up. So you'll do your assignment on Delta Math. On Monday, I'll have Patty paper for you to work these out. So any questions while we are recording? All right, I'm gonna pause my recording or stop the recording.